Hello, everybody. It has been a long month looking at Xcrawl, but we are not done yet. I am Mr. Michael Curtis, and next to me is,
Brendan LaSalle, creator of Xcrawl at your service.
and we are going to be assuming the role of the DJ here, the dungeon judge. And why dungeon design, adventure design in Xcrawl is a little different from other fantasy role-playing games out there. Because, even in the gonzo nature of DCC, we kind of look at things and we think about, okay, all right, so do we think about dungeon ecology? Can you fit a dragon into that room? Or, why are the kobolds living next to, the bugbears and they're still getting along and everything like that? A concern for those of people who are looking to run realistic dungeon, which is thankfully not in the cards for Xcrawl. Because Brendan, explain how dungeons come to be in Xcrawl.
Sure. So Xcrawl dungeons are artificial. There's a DJ, a dungeon judge, who has a menagerie of monsters, and he puts together an arena in a dungeon, a maze inside of an arena. And he's not looking to put together a collection of monsters that are going to get along with his neighbors. He is trying to put on the absolute best possible show that he can. And he knows that he can change things up and take things to places that a normal dungeon never, ever could go to. So, there's never a thought to ecology, never a thought to why these monsters are here or why they're behaving in the way they are. They are there because some producers said, yeah, you can use a bull-headed shark ogre and put him in room 7. Go for it. So you don't have to worry about, freed from the constraint of trying to make it, even fantasy realistic. You can put together unexpected challenges that people have never seen before, that just are there to be challenges, specifically there to give the players, a really difficult time and make audiences cry and scream and cheer and spend money on, on the TV advertisers that are playing in between bits of fighting dungeons.
Right. So the idea about dungeon design in Xcrawl is very much of the all killer no filler stuff. So there's not a room with a chest and 20 giant rats in it. And you don't have to worry about one encounter necessarily making sense to the one before it because they are all artificially designed. So if the previous room was sponsored by the flame retardant armadillo company, you can bet it is going to be filled with flame retardant armadillos that you're going to have to deal with, and the next one, for example, could be, Ziggurat BBQ, sponsoring, sponsoring
flame retardant armadillo.
It's a really, it allows you to basically pull the governor off of your imagination, and you don't have to worry about all the nonsense of it. So it's also the perfect place because in the concept of Xcrawl, monsters are specially bred. There are monster farms. There are companies, there are guilds, there are corporations who are creating their own monsters. So you don't necessarily have to worry about always like, oh, it was a wizard spell who created owl bears or something like that. It was like, no, maybe we decided that we wanted to cross pandas with I don't know, with velociraptors.
Goblins. Yeah, velociraptors. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. And you find that means really cool variants of monsters as well. Why not a spotted owl bear? I don't know, maybe they're rare or something. But whatever it is that you want to do, it's there because someone hired a guy to go ahead and get it or create it or make it and put it in there for your dungeon. So you can literally have any kind of monster, anything you can conceive of, without any thought to where it came from. Where did it come from? It came from professionals whose job it is to supply monsters to dungeon crawls.
And the same applies to treasure as well. You don't necessarily have to worry about like, hey, why do these giant rats have 350 gold coins? Everything is like, no, because you don't have to worry about why the goblins, the rats ate a party who was carrying 350 gold pieces. You have treasure in there because you have sponsors.
Yep. And the same goes for magic items.
Many of which companies that produce magical items enjoy using the Xcrawl games as a kind of as an ad hoc testing lab.
So
if they have a magic item which they have most of the kinks laid down, maybe they give the DJ a cut rate. So you might have that that wand of flaming armadillos, which works most of the time, So,
wand of flaming.
I'm an armadillo kicker. I've been talking with Chris Doyle too much, but But yeah, so it's one of the craziest things about Xcrawl, but it's also one of the things it's one of the most liberating I find. It was,
Absolutely.
any crazy idea that you came up with, it seems to fit within the concept of Xcrawl. So no, don't worry about artificial because everything is artificial.
Absolutely. And also, you can react to your players. You have a DJ who's watching the whole thing. So if they're using the same trick over and over and over again, and it's getting old, well, they can change things up on the back end specifically to stymie that one move that your guys are wearing out. Why? Because it makes it a more fun contest for the people watching at home.
Mm-hmm. And the great thing, as I mentioned in an early video, we have about 7 adventures and 2 more in the works. All of them are, their own self-contained dungeon, but there's no reason that you actually have to run them as intended. If you take a look at this it's an artificial construct. So I like the room in this adventure, and I like the room in this adventure. You can literally pull those in there, and you just, separate them by a corridor, and that's it. And so
Mix and match.
Yep, and nobody's going to worry about, hey, that doesn't make any sense, because in Xcrawl, it all makes sense because it's all artificial, baby. All right. Well, hopefully these videos have gotten you amped up to play Xcrawl, and you have already sitting there flipping through a copy at home. But if you have not, the end of this month is probably really right about now, so it might be down at your local game store. So I would either give them a call or an email, or if you got to go out and do laundry today and they swing by, and maybe see if they have a copy of Xcrawl Classics on the shelf. Published by Goodman Games, written by Mr. Brendan LaSalle, and we have a feeling that if you love DCC, you're going to love Xcrawl just as much, possibly even more. Okay. So
Thanks so much, everybody.
all right. So we'll see you at the games, everybody. Take care.